So, Lord, we thank you in advance.
Good God afternoon, people of God. You have tuned in to another episode of Solutions. I am one of your hosts, Minister Corey Wright, and my co-host,
April the agent.
We are here. Thank God to be here. As always, we offer solutions on this platform. Solutions are dedicated to active action to bring about true change and no excuses. Excuses are man's tools of incompetence that build bridges to nowhere, monuments of nothing. Broadcasted live from IntellectualRadio.com, our heart radio station. People of God, we are here. We're going to ask a serious question today. How many people love a person but not love what they do or the call in their life? How many people are in relationships that they're unhappy, not because the person is a good person, not because the person is not a good person, not because the person is not a good provider, or it's not that you don't love them, but you don't love what they do in life. You don't love their call in life, and you're just there because you love the person. So we're going to talk that. Before I do that, I'll get a few announcements. First, I want to say thank you to my amazing co-host, brilliant co-host. She carried the torch last week. She did a phenomenal job. Just Mike watching. I was so impressed with her. She's brilliant, and I thank God for her. She did a awesome job last week. So thank you for being brilliant. Thank you for seeing what I see. I see in you anyway. Also want to thank all you guys for your prayers.
Yes.
Praying for my fiancée Antoinette. It was amazing. We was in the hospital from Wednesday to the following Thursday. And she had a bad infection, but she's cool. She's good. I thank God for blessing her and taking care of her. She went back to work. She's resting. She's eating better. She's completely healed. So I thank God for that. Thank you for your prayers. We felt your prayers. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Rhea.
For doing that. So we're going to get into it. April, you got a piece?
I do have a piece, but before I share my piece, I want to also say thank you for the opportunity to allow me to host the show alone last week. It was amazing. Thank you for all my guests, Mike.
Wait a minute, hold
Mike,
on.
the poet.
She goes alone. What's the guy that alone? Like she don't want me here. She don't want me here, Earl. You heard that? She emphasized that alone.
No, I'm just saying that it was a challenge. It was wonderful.
Alone.
I loved it.
What's up all that?
I loved it. Just Mike, the poet. Loretta Firekeeper, Hawkins, and Kales. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. You guys were so awesome. Thank you so much for your time. I do want to ask that everyone also prays for my mom, who's in the hospital, but she's feeling better. She should be out tomorrow. And my daughter, who is 9 months pregnant, she's about to have a baby. They're saying they're going to take the baby probably next week because she's the baby is like almost 10 pounds, so they may have to do a cesarean for her.
I hope she's bigger than you. Holding a 10-pound baby.
Yes, she is. She's small.
Well, a 10-pound baby be half your weight.
She's all baby. She looks like her stomach looks fake. It looks like it's just a big giant dinosaur egg in her stomach. That's what it looks like.
She said her daughter like she got a dinosaur egg in her stomach. Oh my goodness. But speaking of that, let me send out my condolences to Shirley King.
Yes.
Shirley King mom passed this morning at about 3:20 in the morning. So send your love, send your prayers up for Shirley King. She's really having a rough time with this. She's having a rough time with her family. So send your prayers up for Shirley King, daughter of blues legend, blues great B.B. King. She lost her mom this morning, so our prayers and our love go up to her. So, are you ready to get into it?
I am. I'm going to do a quick piece.
Oh, yeah, we got to do that piece. We'll hit this piece. I bet it's good because I've been off for a whole week, so I want some fire.
This is a quick piece. I just did it like a few minutes ago. So bear with me. I'm going to read it.
Dollar Bill.
Dollar Bill. That's the name of the piece. What do you really want from me? You say you're here to help, but now you're mad because I peeped your game. You called me fool, but that's not my name. I watch, I listen, and I stand still. I waited for confirmation and revelation of the fake from the real. I know who you are. I see you a mile away. I watched your anger build. I watched you as you turned ill, sick because of your own dirty game you tried to play on me and probably worked on many others. You didn't know that I knew and I just wasn't saying. I wanted to see how far you were willing to go with the games you were playing. You wasted your time and mine. I didn't ask you for any of your anything. You readily and happily volunteered, and I accepted. I didn't realize, nor did you mention, that the offers were based on your intentions of actually looking out for yourself. Like these white men building countries on the backs of someone else and then claiming it all and taking it all in as if they did it themselves. I said it earlier, but I say it again just in case you didn't hear it before, or maybe you just really wasn't listening, probably running your mouth again. I said, what God has for me is for me, meaning if it's in my Father's will for me to have it, I will have it. I don't have to beg, steal, borrow, or sell my soul to get it. He owns it all. So if it's for me, then I shall have it. If it's not, then I don't need it. See, I'm just fully believing and fully invested in my faith. Man didn't give it to me, and man can't take it away. God is my redeemer, restorer, and provider. Oh, I see. You thought you were. Please stop listening to my father's enemies. The devil is a liar. There's no truth inside him. You may think you sit high, but my God sits higher. So everything you have, you owe to God. You're blessed to be a blessing. Stop giving praises unto yourself and avoid a horrible lesson. Avoid a serious undressing, one that there's no escaping, a revealing of just who you are. And that's Dollar Bill.
Wow. That's wow. Girl said, I hope that wasn't about me. Wow. Hey, I don't know who that's about.
Thank you, people.
Whoever inspired that, boy, man, she ain't playing today. So, people of God, we are talking today, and we're going to be real and we're going to be very transparent today because we have a lot of people in relationships only because of love. They're in relationships, but they know that they really don't want to call on somebody's life. It's like you in love with a great man, but he's a minister. He's a man of God that has a tremendous call on his life, or could be a woman, a priest, a reverend, a female who has a great call in her life, and you are her husband. And you're feeling some kind of way because she has an amazing, great following of people. And how many people are in relationships just because they're in relationships because of love? You know, not because they want the life that this person offers, the life that this person lives, and the call on that person's life. So they feel like I can get with them and maintain, or I can find happiness just to get in with this person and realize I'm miserable. I really hate being here. We're going to talk about that. We're going to really, really talk about that today. Very good. Well said. We're going to talk about that today. Thank you, sweetheart. We're going to talk about today. So my first question I want you to open up is it possible for you to love somebody and not love what they do? Woo, we're going to talk about it today. I'm back, y'all. We talking today.
Yes, this is a very difficult subject. I would say that it's possible because you can't really say how somebody loves somebody else. So I say that it's possible, but at the same time, it's important that whoever you're with, that you be their number one fan. If I'm with someone and I'm an artist, whatever it is I do, I expect the person that I'm with to be into what I'm into. I expect them to at least support me and be my number one fan. The man who I choose to be with, I'm going to support. And even if I'm not into whatever they do, maybe they love cars and I hate cars, although I love cars. But if it was, just giving an example, if I had a boyfriend, a spouse, whatever, and he loved old cars and I didn't love old cars, I would still try to understand what his fascination is with it. I wouldn't downplay it, or I wouldn't hold it against that person. I think I could love somebody even though they did something I just really didn't like. The other part of it is kind of hard when you love somebody, but their profession, their career, whatever it is they're into takes them away for long periods of time. And that's when you have to kind of find that that unity and that be able to have discussions and find a middle ground where maybe you go travel with him sometimes, or you have to do something to make it work.
One thing that we're going to talk about, and I'm going to just touch on it right now, is that a lot of times we get people in the upswing. See, we get people in the growth growth stage, and we want people to be the way they were in the growth stage, but they're not that way. A lot of times people don't grow simultaneously. See, one person is growing while the other person is not. So it's like, I want you to be the same way. Let's take, for instance, you know, a person is okay. Let's say I take myself. You know, I'm a very public person. I'm a very open person. I minister a lot of people on the phone, through email, through texts. And you know, Antoinette is a very private person. She's not a person that say much. She can do without the big crowd. You know, that's not, you know. So what happens if when I become globally known, when I have to go around the country and I have to speak and everybody's like, go give me a good word and get, you know, could that affect our relationship? See, think about that, because see, nobody wants to discuss it on the upswing. And see, a lot of times somebody's purpose is smack them in the face, because it's like it takes away their breath. And the reason why I'm having this conversation, because I know somebody right now that's married to an amazing person. This person is one of my boys. He's married to a phenomenal woman. But this phenomenal woman is a CEO. She is like major businesswoman, you know, got herself together. And she goes around the country. She speaks, she talks, she does business. She's making 6-7 figures sometimes. And he's barely making 5 figures. You know, so sometimes he feel like he's wearing the dress and she's not. But she was this dominant hard go getter before they started. But they both was poor at one point. And when they started, they got together, they got married, they started to grow. But as her star started to rise, his didn't rise so fast, so it became lopsided. So it became, okay, let me look back for you to catch up, opposed to us catching up together. So my question to you is that can and I said so much to say, I ain't been here a long time. So my question is, can a certain point in a relationship where the other person grow destroy a relationship?
It depends on the person who is not growing as fast. Their what's the word I want to use? I can't find my words this morning.
It's afternoon. Yo, big.
Oh, right. So yeah.
It's morning.
I'm sorry, you guys. I'm really, really tired. I was up all night calling the hospital in Florida for my mom. I had to like kind of go
We definitely understand.
get a little not ghetto, but I just had to get a bit aggressive with them. But so I was up till like 4 a.m. But they have to have that certain level of security for themselves. They can't be insecure about the situation, because we're talking about money. So who cares who's making the most money? You know, she's traveling a lot. That's probably maybe one of the biggest problems. I would hope it's not the money. And maybe they can, you know, come to that agreement and find some ways where he can travel with her sometimes if he's not doing that already.
Now, let's hit this point. Can couples be in a relationship and be jealous of each other?
It happens. Unfortunately, I've experienced it. To me, it's sad. Like, you should not be in competition with your mate. I've said that 1,000 times before in my life. Like, you should not be in competition with your mate. It's not a competition. It's a unit. You guys are a unit together. You know, you're working together towards one goal, or you're working together towards your own goals. You know, you may be on a parallel line, but it shouldn't be a competition. It shouldn't be, I'm doing better than you at my job, or I'm making more money than you at my job. Who cares? That's not the point. Okay, what can we build together? That's the purpose. The purpose is building something positive together. How are we going to raise these kids positive together? You know, how are we going to get our kids to the next step? What do we want? What is our aspirations and goals? That's the important thing.
Well, you know what? Now, we know that couples can be jealous of each other. That's unfortunately that can't happen. Mm-hmm. But a lot of times, couples don't be jealous. Well, the other person don't be jealous of the person, but they be jealous of the people around them. Because you think about something. I was reading something last night that blew me away. and when I was studying for the show, so I could have a premise. Do you know that there are a lot of mates in relationships with successful co-mates? Successful co-mates, well, in relationship, one dislike what they do. That is, and I'm gonna hit something with that. I'm glad you said that because I'm gonna really hit something. That the person, the other mate that's not as successful as one of those mates gets jealous not of the mate but of the people around the mate. Because see, every level you have to be a certain kind of way to be on that level. And what I mean by that is the things that you did on the first floor will not work on the second and third floor. So when you get on the third floor, you will see somebody of the opposite sex that's on your level on that floor. So a lot of times the mate don't feel like they can live on that level. Because see, a lot of times people get jealous of the fact that, okay, let's say for instance, I'm a minister and I'm a man of God and I'm well known around the world preaching. And my wife, that life, don't want to be in the public, you don't want to help people, but don't want to be out in front of the cameras and everything. And I run into a woman like my Juanita Bynum type, who is, we're good friends, but I love to preach, I love to fill stadiums, she loved to preach and fill stadiums, and we get along together. That be a defining factor in a relationship not working. Because what blew me away is that most of the mates of successful people feel that they don't have the ability to keep up because the person has outgrown them and has forfeited the marriage. What you think? Let's get deep today. We will talk today, y'all.
And it all depends on both parties. If the party who is growing, elevating faster, and they're meeting more people that they may view as interesting, if they view those other people as interesting, then yes, it's going to be a problem. But if they're still into their spouse, because you can be elevating and still love your spouse, and you're not even focused in, you're focused in on your career itself and the people that you're around who like what, you know, they're like-minded for your business and your career, but you can still be focused on your spouse who is not up in position as you. It can happen. So it depends on the person, on both parties. It depends on the respect level. It depends on, you know, the relationship that you guys have. How close are you? You know, how united are you with your relationship? So,
well, let's get deep. Can a man really be a man if a woman makes more than he do?
yes.
You
Why
know,
not? What's gonna change his sex? What's gonna change his name? What's gonna change his?
I mean, because okay,
nothing but his mind.
Is it gonna be the same level of respect? Can and listen, and I believe it is. I'm just, you know, I gotta be devil advocate. You know, I'm back. We got talks and stuff. But how many men feel inferior to a woman making more than he do?
It's not the woman's fault that he feels inferior. It's his fault. He that's his mindset.
Okay, people,
you can't make him feel that way. Now there are some situations
come
where the
on, talk about
woman
it.
is like rude or she's obnoxious about her guy, whatever. But situation where he's not doing anything, he's not pursuing anything, any type of goals or ambitions, you know, and it's other stuff going on. It's not just that.
So do money change? We're gonna talk about, do money change the relationship? Because you think about it, I'm married to a woman, she all of a sudden becomes this great businesswoman. Like you look at the story of Vera Wayne. Her husband was a successful CEO already. He gave her money for a project, but turned out worth $3, $4, $5 billion. He working for her. Mm-hmm. Do you think that relationship changed? Because you think about it, you know, in some men, in some relationships, some people want to hold their title over your head and their money over your head, and this is this and this is that. So does it change the complexity of a relationship when a woman outworks a man or makes more money than a man?
A lot of times it does. Unfortunately, I think that it's because of the whole programming that you have, you know, growing up, that you're, as a man, you're supposed to do more. And I think that's part of what happened with me and my relationship, because I wanted to do more, but because I could, my spouse didn't want that. He kind of wanted to keep me down, you know, beneath him or whatever, or something like that. So I think the dynamics does change because of the other person's mindset.
Okay. Well, let's talk about this. Radio, say, how do you deter from besides pray? I defer from is besides pray.
Dieter?
I don't know what you tell. You got to call in.
Camille, call us. The number is 708-223-8953. 708-223-8953. You guys give us a call.
Well, let's now talk about some. Let's talk about some jobs. We're gonna get into some calls. Let's talk about some jobs that you think are not good for marriage.
Strippers.
Woo! You know, I agree. My girl can't. Nah, first of all, I'm a man of God, so that ain't gonna happen anyway. But even if I wasn't saying, I don't want no stripper. No. That is a yes. That is definitely a field that you cannot be in. Being with me, no, it can't happen. Let's say truck driver. Is a truck driver a tough job or a tough career to be married to? And when I say career, that person, that career, because as a truck driver, you're on the road for 3/4 of the month. You're only home maybe a week. So you're trying to come home, spend time. You might give a little money, but there is such a void in there. So is a truck driver another what you might not want to do?
It could be. If you're away a lot of the time, if you're away majority of the time, it could bear a huge strain on your relationship anytime you have so much distance. So you have to figure out a plan of action to, kind of bridge that gap, be it you're traveling with your spouse, or you can use technology and do
what Camille
visual conversation online or whatever. Have a choice to be with that. Hold on. I have a choice to be with what I need. To be with what I need, but I love the one I'm with, even though he is not. He's not what I need. He is not what I need. What I do.
Well, I understand that, and you're basically saying, Camille, that you're with somebody that don't do what you want him to do. And I understand that. And see, we're talking about that today because we got a lot of miserable people that's in relationships. They're in relationships because they love a person. And today, we're not talking about cheating people. We're not talking about bad people. We're not talking about nothing. We're talking about people been driving over 20 years and can't keep a solid relationship. All right, Robert.
Give us a call, 708-223-8953.
Robert said he been driving for 20 years a truck and can't keep a solid relationship. And and we're going to talk about it because there are some people that's so in love with somebody, they rather live their life miserable. Just like being married to, being a 911 operator for so many years, I learned that 911, just like being a police officer and just like being a firefighter, is a call. Be on the other end of that marriage. Now think about something. Every day that firefighter go to work, and every day that police officer go to work, that they're not coming back. Is that a call that you can deal with?
I think it's very stressful. And it's something that you will really have to really think about and pray about and make sure that that's something you want to get yourself into before you go into a marriage like that. So can I do it? I don't know. I'm not going to say no. I'm not going to say yes because I don't know. I haven't been in that situation. So
being a police officer, I think being in a relationship with a police officer is like being a correctional officer. Because, there was a lot of officers that have been killed in the line of duty. There are a lot of officers been shot and paralyzed. So when we think about being an officer, that is a life's call, but that is a hard call because every day when you see one thing about certain calls in life, it teaches you not to argue much because every day you put that badge on, you don't know if that's going to be your last day. And your wife, your spouse have to be in their back of their mind or be in their mind all the time that today can be my husband's or my wife's last day. So that's a hard calling. And see, what I want people to be is honest about this call, because see, this is what happens. So many people are not honest in the beginning. What they do is they put on, it's just like skydiving. That's why I use the term skydiving, and Friday we'll be talking about the point of jump, because so many people really want something, they're in love with somebody, but they don't want to accept the person for everything they do. They don't want to accept the person for who they are. They don't want to accept the person what they do. See, calls in life come from God. Calls in life don't come from man. Man don't just stand and say, I want to do something. There are some things that I am not good in, I was not called to. Speaking and uplifting people and preaching, that is what God commissioned me to do. So being a minister, a pastor, or a reverend, or anything with what God has called you to is very important. And I'm going to say something that people might not really get, but that is more important than anything. Your call of God is more important than anything you do in life. And if it hinders your call in life, and I'm going to get into that, I want you to talk about that a little bit, that if you are in a call in life and there is something that hinders your call in life, God can remove you from it. See, there was a lot of relationships and things that people think that this person just left me. No, that person didn't leave you. You were not conducive of that person call. And so many people want to get into relationships and exclude that person's call. And 9 times out of 10, you're going to lose it. What do you think?
I agree, because the person has to grow. They have to live up to their purpose. And a lot of times you're going to get irritated if you are not living up to your purpose. You can't. For me, I believe in always growing. I can't be at a standstill. I can't be at a certain level of my life for too long. I get antsy. I get frustrated. I get irritated. I have to move. I have to be elevated. I have to evolve in my life. I can't just be in one position, and I believe for my mate that they need to move, and I'm going to encourage them to move forward and do some different things in their life, not just stay at a standstill, because it also creates a foundation and a mindset for your children to understand that they need to grow in life and not stay in one position, not get stagnant in life.
Say, for instance, you with somebody and I'm with somebody. Okay, we kick it. You're a very beautiful lady. I'm a great looking guy. Hercules. Look at that. Somebody can insinuate, look at them. They just too friendly. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Not saying that this is my call. This is your call. We are good together. I said it when we went to Just Mike thing that, we good together. But what somebody say, you may say, wow, you look too friendly with him. Like he looked like he the last pork chop on the plate.
The last pork chop on the plate.
Or my mate can be like, I get home, be like, you all in her face and stuff. Why y'all in? Because think about it. Because see, like I said earlier today, yesterday, I said, so many people try to make their insecurities, their mate's flaws, and wonder why they keep failing. Because so many people got new relationships with the same results. So maybe it might be them. So could relationships, and humble too, can relationships in the professional manner is in the other person's mind?
Can it set standards?
Can the work relationship, like say for instance, could our work relationship cause our mates to feel some kind of way because Absolutely. We're so friendly and charming? And Absolutely. Why is that?
Because they may have some type of insecurity, or they see something that they may not like. They may just feel uncomfortable. And I say that's when it's time for the conversation. That's time to have a discussion about it, instead of you holding it inside, because it's something you've been thinking about. You're thinking about it. And then finally one day you say, oh, you just talking to her all the time. You just like talking to April.
Like she got it. I like that purple
right.
shirt.
Right. She wear that plum color shirt and you all in it. Like,
you all in the shirt.
Right.
She cough, you like this.
Right. I see that check, I'm like, yeah, so
check yourself,
right,
girl.
check yourself. But it happens all the time, and that's when you need to have a discussion, and you need to level out your relationship and make sure that it's the relationship that you want, can agree on a relationship. And sometimes it could, if it makes your mate uncomfortable, you maybe could have a conversation with your coworker about it as well. Maybe you all can have a conversation so the mate could be a little bit more comfortable about it.
Well, how can the mate really be comfortable if it's their own insecurities? How can I be comfortable about your mess?
That's what I'm saying. Like, if you have a discussion and you guys talk about it and kind of hash it out, then maybe you guys can come to some type of agreement.
Okay.
Or if she talks to, like, if it's a female, she talks to your coworker, then maybe that'll give her a little bit of ease.
Okay.
But she has to, the mate has to have a certain kind of security of themselves. They have to know who they are in themselves.
If I gave you some chicken and it made you sick, and you in the washroom and you using the washroom constantly, say, you know what, we all ain't eating no more chicken. Because this is what this chicken did to me. I feel good off the chicken. That's what you ate. Because, see, think about this. Here's the problem about not dealing with that. The higher people get, the worse it gets.
Right. That's why you have to have
because right, because but you have the conversation, but at the same time, there are some things you got to listen. We can have a conversation about me taking a bath, but ultimately I got to get my stinking butt in the tub, and I got to do that. See, and therefore when I do that, we're not worried about smell. See, that's where people are not honest about a person's call. Because, see, let's be real about something. We have grown from our first show together, and I've gotten better, and you've gotten better. But this would be a very awkward show if I was still saying I was getting better and you wasn't. If you were still sitting up shaking and like, you know how she kept flicking the pen about 15 times. I thought it was a bomber here. You know what I mean? Scared to say the, and then she, now she, I remember she said, Cora, I ain't even ready to be interviewed. Now she ran a whole week. So you've grown. Now, so if you didn't grow, would that be my fault?
No.
Or if you didn't get what Intellectual Radio was teaching you, or you didn't grow with Intellectual Radio, would that have been my fault? Would that have been Earl's fault? Would that have been anybody's fault?
No.
So how is it that your mate growing and getting better and doing what they called to do is a problem? Because you're not honest about not really want to be there. Let's get even deeper.
Right.
Now.
That's why I said if it just keeps festering and festering and festering, and you keep holding on to this thing, you have a discussion about it, and you're still holding on to it, then you're not being honest with yourself. There's something that's inside of you that has you insecure, and you need to figure out what that thing is that has you insecure.
Okay.
Or find something to occupy your time so you don't think about that.
So
that way.
Now, could that be? And let's talk about this today, people. We ain't playing today. I ain't been here all week. I'm fired up today. Is it that worry or those insecurities are fueled because you don't know that person's heart you with? How many people are with people they don't even know their heart? What about you? Can a man just look at your outer beauty and not know your heart? Or can you be in a relationship with somebody that really don't know what type of woman you are?
It won't last. How
many people do?
Because it's situational. Those are situational relationships. They're not real relationships. It can't be. Because
think about this, and I'm going to ask this question, and I'm going to blow some people mind. I'm going to really people to think. If we were a show in Texas, okay? We were doing a radio show in Texas, and we didn't have money for just one room. We didn't have money for just one room. Would a spouse be able to trust the fact that me and you can stay in a room and not do something?
Your spouse could.
No, but I'm saying though. But now, why would they?
Because she would know. I mean, she would know me. She would know you.
How she know you? By what?
Just by my personality.
No,
She could
you
call
can.
me if she want to call me. I'm open. She's met me. Your spouse has met me and talked to me, so she knows the type of person that I am. The person that
No, you can be a facade. See, it ain't you. My spouse is supposed to know my heart.
right.
See, the Bible said we serve God in spirit and truth. If you really want to know somebody's truth, you got to feel their spirit. God gives the gift of discernment. You can ask for that gift of discernment. You got so many people in relationships don't know the heart they make. Why would I second guess somebody I love and trust and I know their heart? Now, my heart has been revealed to you by God, not because I said it, because there are things that I've said that God has backed up and somebody has said the same exact thing I said to her. So how in the world how do you determine your mate's worth? See, we take away the money and the fame. How do you determine your mate's worth?
By their heart, their being, the way that they treat you, what you see in them, your connection with them spiritually and emotionally, and all that. With discussions and everything. There has to be a spiritual connection. So.
I mean, think about something. If you are married to a pastor, is he your pastor in the church and out of the church? Come on, don't get scared now.
I'm not scared, but I'm just saying, a pastor, they probably think they are.
No, should they not be? Because if he's the shepherd and God put him over you, should he not be your pastor in the church and out of the church?
I mean, he's your husband. So, I mean, I don't know how to answer that question.
Because how many preachers' wives don't want to be first ladies?
That's a tough job. That's one of the hardest ones, because not only does it take your spouse away, but he's also in communications with all these different people. And sometimes when you're in a relationship like that, it sometimes feels like the spouse is being neglected and everybody else comes first and they're more important, when in actuality that's not the case. I actually dealt with that with my my ex-pastor and his wife. That was one of their issues. Like, she felt like she was neglected and she felt like he was into everybody else and he wasn't really worried about her, but that wasn't the case. That was just what his calling was.
The Holy Spirit will reveal the truth to you. And I believe that. But Tasha, here's the thing. And call in at 708-223-8953. 708-223-8953. The Holy Spirit that revealed to you that he is a pastor, or she is a pastor, that she will, because I've been prophesied about where I'm going in the next 3 months that's been blowing me away, or how many people and how many stuff is going to be affecting the doors of it opening. And I've been thanking God for it. A lot of calls. A lot of people call me. I minister to a lot of people. I called Shirley this morning. It was early this morning. I called her, and somebody might call me and have, because that's what God commissioned me to do. But could it be that your spouse wants her husband or want his wife? Could it be that it's been revealed this person is it, but you just don't want to do it? And you weren't honest with yourself before you got into it, because maybe there's a shortage in good men. Maybe that you've been running into so many bad people. Because could it be your pattern? And here, this is my next question I'm about to come with you with. Could it be that your past disappointments, failures, and the quality of men or women that you have dealt with makes you jump into something with somebody you don't want to be in, just to be with somebody that's good?
I think that's a huge issue, and something that happens all the time. People just are with somebody because they want to be with someone, even though it may not be the person that they should be with, but they just want to be with somebody. And it's a lot of people like that, and that's a bad thing. So it does happen a lot, more often than you probably think. For some people, they just take a lot of junk because they just want to be with somebody.
But is it junk? See, we're not talking about this today. We're not talking about bad people. We're talking about people with a call of God on their life, that people don't want to be involved. Let's take a singer. You know, let's think about Whitney Houston and Bobby Brown for a minute. Okay,
Perfect.
how can you be, because see, you think about Whitney and you think about somebody famous. Because see, when you're famous, you got paparazzi following you everywhere. They're trying to get the dirt on you. They're following you. You just got to be a bad boy. So when Whitney was struggling with drugs, she didn't have the opportunity to go behind closed doors and get help because everything and everybody was in her business. She didn't trust anybody. So think about this. If I am a person who is very private and I am a person who wants to keep my business under wraps, it would be hard for me to be able to marry a singer who is well known or who is publicized, because then everything I say or do, they want to say it. That's just like if I'm married to Patti LaBelle, and Patti LaBelle, they know me as her husband, or I'm with her, and I say I don't like Trump, or I say that I don't think this is this. Okay, now what they're going to say is Patti LaBelle's husband said that he feels that Trump does not do this or that, and then everybody is gravitating to the story because of my connection with somebody great. So think about that. You know what this person is. Think about that. How many people want to do that? You know, how many people really want to be in the limelight? I forgot his name, but he was on the Oprah Winfrey Show. And he was a best-selling author for 24 years. And he ghost wrote. He was a ghostwriter. And he revealed himself on Oprah's last years of show. And Oprah asked him, she said, well, why didn't you want to reveal yourself after all this time? Because so many people want to meet you. So many people want you to sign their books and everything. He said his wife asked him not to for the kids' sake. Them kids to have a normal life without being connected to his fame, his money, and his standard, that they can grow and live. So when you look at that, being a preacher's wife, is there a standard that you have to live up to because of that preacher's name? Go ahead.
Yes. Yes, because if you're a pastor or a preacher or something like that, that's a hard life, because not only you have to watch everything you do, everywhere you go. Anybody could be watching you. Anybody could see anything and misinterpret it however they want to misinterpret it. And we're all human, but people don't always recognize that we're all human. You know, they expect you to be this great, super natural being, but that's not really what anybody is. Nobody is. Your pastors in the pulpit, they're still human. They still make mistakes. They still do things that are not so right and not so great. You know, so people misinterpret things. I've experienced that before. So
How so?
I definitely understand.
I don't think you ain't gonna tell me. How
That's fine.
so?
I can do it. You know, when I was in Florida, I was like very into my church and stuff. I actually started a women's group at my school that I was at. And I was in school, and I started a women's group. And one of the ladies that was in my group, she was like, "That guy I saw you with, was that your husband?" I was like, "What guy?" She was like, and I was like, "Oh no, that was my ex-boyfriend." She was like, "Well, you were all over him." I was like, "I was all over him? Really?" And she saw it as me being all over him. I didn't see it as me being all over him, but that's how she saw it. And it was we were married. It was my husband at the time. So you have to just be careful of everything, because you never know who could see you or who is watching, or, you know, what their thought process is of something.
So there is an unfair stigmata that's put on you.
Yes.
Because you're married to somebody famous or somebody with, you know, stuff. Is it?
Or because of your own position. Me, it was my own position. It didn't have to do with my husband. It was because of my position.
Okay.
It wasn't my husband.
So could your position of success make somebody look inferior to the world? Your mate look inferior to the world?
Yeah, because it's based on their perception. It doesn't mean that it's true. It's just their perception. What somebody thinks don't mean that it's true. It's just true to that person.
So then, is it really possible for somebody to really be in a successful relationship, a loving, successful relationship, and not be involved in their calling? What is it? Okay, and I rephrase.
Involved, when you say, there's a difference between involved and, you're just loving your spouse and supporting your spouse or something. If I am with someone, I don't necessarily have to be involved in their business. It may be something that I know nothing about. I will, just because I'm me, I will want to get educated about what it is that they do, but I wouldn't necessarily have to be involved in their business. And I can still support that person.
Okay, then why is it that, okay, that's a good thing. And I'm going to tell you why, because I'm going to go a little bit deeper. How many businesses where the man is running the businesses and never involve his wife or vice versa, and they die? And now this person got all this legal stuff and all this business and don't know what to do with it. Don't know how to run the business, end up selling the business for so much less than it's worth. You ever seen that movie Secretarial?
Mm-hmm.
And how the person's...
I was thinking about that movie when you started talking about...
The person's dad died, and the woman took it over and realized that they were taking him, robbing him blind, and made a great bet and won, and he won by lifts. That still... So how can you really be in love, involved with somebody, and not be in their calling? So here's the greater question.
She still loves her husband. She just didn't know the business. She didn't know the business with the horses or with the ranch. Spouse, she just didn't understand the business part of it.
Well, she learned.
Which wasn't...
And it was her daddy that left it to her. She learned.
The daughter knew, but the mother didn't. The mother didn't know.
And if it wasn't for the daughter, she would have lost it. The mom was like, get rid of it. Get rid of it all. I don't want none of it. Get rid of it.
Right.
Because, see, here's the thing. When you choose a mate, what is more important? Is it love, calling, or future? Let's talk today. We're going to talk today. What is more important? When you choosing this mate, I'm going to sit down with you. You're a potential wife. You're a potential husband. What is the most important thing to me? Is it the love that we can obtain? Is it the great future? Or is it the call on your life? And will I be good with that call in your life? What is more important? April the 8th.
I'm going to need you guys to call in 708-223-8953. 223-8953. That is a crazy question because it's all important.
Whoa.
The most important thing, you will want to know that you could grow with this person. So there has to be a future in it.
Okay.
It has to be a future.
So April the 8th, and y'all call in at 708-223-8953.
What's the purpose if there's no future?
She said...
I'm not saying that's the most important thing. I said it's all important, but there has to be a future. I mean...
She said it has to be a future.
I can't separate all those things. I just can't.
Okay. Now, let me answer that question. For me, the most important thing that I'm looking for in a mate, potential mate, is the call on her life. The call of God on her life. The call. Because here's the thing. See, the Bible said, how can two survive unless they walk together? How can they survive unless they walk together? And how can two walk unless they agree? But here's the thing. God made certain people to do certain things. And anything, she said, all things are important. Some things should be separated. That's a good point.
What should be separated?
But here's the thing. The most important. And it's got to be the call on life. I'm going to tell you why. Because anything that is not of God and God sent, I ask God to remove it and block it from coming.
Yes.
And anything that will try to hinder or get in the way of what God has ordained for a person's life, he will remove it. See, a lot of people don't look at the fact that a lot of things in people's lives, God moves, not them. People have a season, a reason, and a certain time limit and an expiration date in your life if they're not God sent. So when I ask the question, what is the most important thing in looking for a mate? Is it the future? Is it the love that you can obtain, or is it the call? It's got to be the call for me. Because if you're not good for my call, I don't have to remove you, God will. And that's the point that people don't get, because so many people are not honest with themselves about what they want to do in life. And they're living or making decisions out of their emotion or their emotional state. Because I love and feel for this man, because I have been running into jerks all this time, or I've been running into bad women all this time. I finally got somebody of substance. I am going to marry them, even though I literally hate what they do. I don't want their life. They're a singer. They got to be on the road from 7 to 8 months at a time, sleeping in hotels everywhere. I want to have a normal life where I can come home, drink a beer, play with the kids, and go out in public. Michael Jackson was a prisoner of his own success. Prince was a prisoner of his own success. Could you imagine being married to Michael Jackson? Michael Jackson had to wear masks. His kids had to wear masks. Here's the story. Randy Jackson said, I realized how big my brother was, but the day I truly realized how big my brother was when they was having that torture tour. Y'all remember in 1984, they had that torture, that tour. Michael Jackson was driving in a limo with tinted windows, looked in the glass and seen something he liked and said, I'm just going to run in there and get it. They said, well, let one of us get it and you tell us which one you want. He said, I don't know. I have to see both of them up front. He thought he was going to run in there for 30 seconds and pick one. When they seen it was Michael Jackson, in less than a minute or less than 3 minutes, they had to get riot police, shut the mall down and everything, because they had people lying for blocks to see Michael Jackson. Could you really want to be married? Now, Michael could have been a great guy. Wonderful guy, treats you good. Could you want to live that type of life where you always got to be running from paparazzi and ducking in and out of place? Could you live that way?
I don't think I would like it, because I'm a private person, so I don't think I would like that part of it. And the reason why I say it has to be future, because all those things are intertwined with the future. I mean, if they don't have it for you that is lining up with you, whatever it is you do, if you don't love them, then how can you have a future?
Well, see, here's the thing. You a good person doesn't mean I want to do what you do in life, or is what you do in life is good for me.
Right.
So is something wrong with that?
I mean, you don't have to do what I do. What I do has nothing to do with whatever my career choice is, or whatever is my hobbies. That has nothing to do with you.
Well, then why get married?
What you mean, why get
married? Because see, here's the thing. I just think, and y'all got to call in on this 708-223-8953. This will be April gonna bump. We don't disagree right here, because how can you honestly be with somebody if you don't love what they love or love their interests, or you live in two separate lives to the point? Because
I said that I don't have to love what my mate does, but I do find interest in whatever my mate does. I am going to find out what it is, even if it's not something that I'm interested in, just because he is interested in it. I want to know why it interested this person so much. Why is it so fascinating for my mate, this certain thing? And maybe I will like it later. I don't know, but I would look into it. I wouldn't just be like, you stupid, I'm not looking at that.
So
I already know that it's not going to work. So say if I was dealing with somebody who likes to watch a lot of smut TV, I don't like that. Like
smut TV.
Yeah, smut TV, like reality, not reality shows, stupid stuff like that. I'm sorry, I'm telling stupid, but I don't enjoy it. I think that it's nonsense. Watch a lot of nonsense, like a lot of chaos, like a lot of, bickering and fighting and all that. I'm not interested in that. So that could be an issue in the household. You know what I'm saying? So that would be something that I would have to really think about and consider.
So you're saying if you're married to a pastor, you don't have to be in ministry?
You're going to definitely be in ministry if you're married to a pastor. How can you not be?
No, if you're married to a pastor, is it guaranteed that you have to be in ministry work?
You're going to be. That's your husband.
Okay. Why is that not in everything?
Because that's a part of your life.
Why is that not in everything?
If my husband was,
How can you have two different lives in a marriage? How can you have, because think about this.
because that's a lifestyle. That's not a career. So
Well,
you would have the same lifestyle.
It's still a call. We're not talking about career. We're talking about calls, because singing is a career, but singing is a calling because everybody can't do it.
Right.
And calling because everybody can't do it. Speaking is a calling. Doing spoken word is a calling.
Right. So that's why I say your spouse or your mate has to be your number one fan. If they're not, then I don't know how that's gonna work out.
And how many people are not honest about that? How many people don't want to be? How many first ladies don't want to be bothered? How many churches you went to, first ladies got attitude because they like, leave me alone. My husband, the preacher, go talk to him.
Or you see them, you coming into church for the first time and they do this.
Or how many
put their nose up at you like, okay.
Think about that. Or after a service, how many people waiting to talk to the pastor? And she's standing there like, you know what? It's time for us to go.
Right.
And
my chicken on the stove.
Or think about this. You're a pastor and somebody call you at 12 o'clock at night. Say, hey, so-and-so passed. Can you come over and get words of comfort and everything? But you with your wife.
Right.
You know, because ministry work is a 24/7 job. Now you have to have rest. You can't do it all the time. But how many people don't want to be in that calling? Now, because see, here's the thing. Does being separated in a relationship where you do your call and I do my call, can that create a way or create a wedge or even create the notion of cheating because somebody is more interested to you being that they're interested or doing what you do? I mean, just like a doctor. Can a lawyer really understand what a doctor go through because like another doctor? Think about that. Because if I talk about what it takes to be on the radio for 2 hours, somebody might be like, well, I can't talk for 2 hours. Maybe I might won't do it. Somebody may say it might be easy. Or somebody say, well, I can't see how you do that. But you being on the radio for 2 hours with me and by yourself, know what it takes. So somebody that's not on the radio, how can they understand what I'm doing if they're not doing it? So can that for a wedge and for even leaving or cheating?
Yes, I think it could.
Why so? Come on. You ain't getting off that early.
It's giving that little foothold because the connection isn't there. Because your career, your choice, your calling is important to you as an individual. So that's something that you want to share with your mate. And if your mate is not open to share that with you, then your feelings are gonna be hurt. You're gonna feel some type of way about it. So you gonna go talk to somebody else about it. Eventually, another person is gonna be open to that discussion. So that's why you need to be open to your mate. So someone else don't have to be open to your mate.
You remember the movie What Love Got to Do with It, that Tina Turner story?
Yes.
And you remember Tina Turner, he pulled Tina Turner out the hospital. And she was sitting in the dressing room before he cussed out and said, this is all, I'm tired. What if I get up there and nothing come out? And, you know, this is all happening too fast. And what he say? I need you tonight. You can't do that on me tonight. I need that. I need that. I need you tonight. You know what I mean? You know. Then he went off. You the sorry. Yeah, you sorry. You know. You done messed up my head. Yeah, you. He go. You know. I thought it was crazy anyway. But how many people? And let's get deep now. Get hurt later by somebody's call because they weren't honest to themselves about what it requires. How many people?
I'm sure a lot. I'm sure a lot get hurt because they thought they could do it, but they kind of knew that it was going to be a difficult transition, but they didn't realize how difficult it was. It wasn't thought out well, or it ended up just being too much for the person.
Now, let me ask a question. If a person is out in the public and they're around a lot of beautiful people, there are a lot of attractive women, or woman, she's around a lot of attractive men. Could that, in the professional realms, cause confusion in the house? if that person's not ready for it?
If the person who's around all the people or the spouse?
The spouse is around all these people. Could that cause friction in a relationship?
Again, it would depend on their connection with their spouse or their significant other, and their I can't even think. I can't even talk today.
Well, yeah.
And their self-confidence. Their self-confidence, I guess that's the word I'm gonna use. That's not the word I want. Yeah, thank you for laughing with me. You're right.
This is an awesome conversation. So true. Sometimes
you bit off more than you can really chew.
And you know what? You're right. Some people, they bite off more than they can chew. Because, see, they're not honest. And I want a lot of people to be honest about their relationships and honest about their love. So a lot of people are not honest. A lot of people don't want to be honest. And listen, it is a shortage of good men. You know, it is. Because it was even a shortage of good men in Isaiah's day. Remember, even Isaiah said there's 7 women to every man. So it's a shortage of women, shortage of men, and shortage of good men. And, you know, a lot of times you've been through a lot. Because, see, a lot of decisions are made emotionally. A lot of decisions are made because of the past. And so many people say, well, my past doesn't affect me. It still shapes your decisions. And see, if you're not honest about the decision shaping position or process, it will bite you. Like I'm talking about Friday, I'll be talking about the point of jumping. And you know what? You can say, I want to do it. I'm going to skydive. I'm going to put these clothes on. I'm going to get in the plane. I'm going to fly all the way up. But it's different when that man says, okay, it's time to jump and open that door. And you looking at the world from that high. It's a big difference. So my question is that why do so many people want to keep people where they started at opposed to where they're going to end up at? Let me see what Portis would say.
I feel that if anyone is in the public arena, that their mate would have to be so confident to handle it and be with and in the limelight.
Okay, yeah, that's true. But then what happens? Okay, now and I'm glad you said that because I'm about to jump to another. What about those unexpected limelights? What about those lottery winners? What about those people who finally write that book? Who designed Barney? And all of a sudden, she designed Barney to entertain her grandkids, and now she's worth, what, $80-90 million. What about then? You know, is it, again, you know, should that person remain the same with money, or is it possible to remain the same with money? Or why is it that we want people to remain the same even with the fame? What do you think?
I think that I need to win $1 million to answer that question.
So yeah, you win $1 million. I better get some of it. I'm like old boy on Friday.
You my brother. Where I go, you go.
I'm like Friday. I want $100,000, but I'll sell it for 50 cents right now.
Yeah. So I think it depends on the person. I think the money is gonna reveal who you are, who you've been all along. Basically.
Now, when is it the time to realize that somebody got something special that can grow? Is it the fact when they're in it, or is it before? Because, see, a lot of people want to create a life with somebody, but don't want to see that this person is growing. And let me use an example. It's like Michael Jordan, he's joining my team. I see in practice that Michael Jordan is Michael Jordan in practice. But Michael Jordan is a rookie, and you know what? You got to put the veterans out there. But I put Michael Jordan out there, and every day every game, Michael Jordan get better until not only he is the best player on the thing, but some people be like, he's still a rookie. Don't matter. He was growing when he got in. He kept getting better. How many people feel like a person's elevation is a threat to their relationship? Or how many people don't see that until it's too late. Come on. I mean, you tired, I keep going. I definitely keep going. I don't know who that is. I ain't gonna even worry about that. If you tired, okay. All right.
But I think that it's sad when people are in that situation, because you should want people to elevate. You should want people to grow. Why are you stunting someone else's growth that you supposedly love and you supposedly care about, you know?
Well, think about this. If you're don't mess up nothing now. Yeah. If you're okay, let's say, okay, let's really hit this. I'm with this lady. We have a nice, comfortable, quiet life. Nice house. She's got a nice Volvo. I got a nice BMW. We got a nice house. We living good. We're blessed. Family. We go on outings. We go on trips. We go to Disney World. We do everything as a family, and I write a book and become New York's bestseller. And here it is. Now I'm well known. Books become a movie. People see me on TV, and now we can't do what we used to do, because everywhere we go, everybody run up to me for an autograph. Everybody run up to us. Everybody want to put a camera in our face. Is that fair to the other spouse?
I mean, yes, because it's just something that happened. It's nothing that you had planned. Neither one of you planned for that to happen. I would think that the spouse would be happy for you, and I would think that you guys would figure out a way to work around the issues of that.
Well, is it?
I mean, what are you going to do? Say, I don't want my book out anymore. I mean, you can't dumb yourself down for someone else.
But what if I told her years ago that I was going to, if I was going to write a book? What about? Because see, everybody don't just become great overnight, and that's the point that I'm really driving home with this show today. Everybody just don't come. You see signs of greatness in people.
Right.
When I walked up to you at Just Mike's thing, I knew, and I told Earl, I said, that is my co-host. There is a greatness in her, and I seen that before you ever stepped on the mic. I said that you were good. People see the greatness in people, but are internally lazy.
A lot.
I don't want this. How many people do it?
A lot.
Why?
They're internally lazy, and they're stagnant with their own life. They're comfortable with their selves being just, I call it like a flat line, which causes a dead end relationship, because that person gets comfortable and they're just comfortable in that position they being in for 20 years or 10 years, and they don't want to grow. They have the opportunities to grow, but they just choose not to do it. But you choose as the other spouse to grow, and they're mad at you because you're growing. Like, why are you mad at me? Because I'm moving forward in my life. And that's gonna cause a divide because of that other person. But that's nothing that you can do about that. You can't change that other person. That other person has to make that decision of their own. And I'm talking about things that I know that person has to make the decision of their own. I could sit there and encourage you and talk to you till I'm blue in my face, but until you make the move and you make the decision, it's not going to happen.
Now, can success outgrow you in a marriage? Can you outgrow somebody with success in a marriage where you no longer have anything to talk about because you're doing something that they don't want to do, they don't find interested, and they're not?
That could happen, but that doesn't happen overnight. That's a period of time. That means that you haven't been having the discussions. You haven't been sitting down. You haven't talked about the things that are bothering you in a relationship with the lifestyles. The lifestyle changes, because the changes, whatever's happening, it didn't happen overnight. So you have to take the time with each other.
Maybe they don't understand. Could it be that they don't understand?
Okay, well, then that's counseling.
Because think about something.
But you have to make the moves, and you have to make the changes in order to keep up with what's going on in your relationship, in your life. So you have to decide how important it is to you for that relationship to stay together and stay strong.
So
as two individuals, even if one individual says, okay, I'm having problems over here, and the other one's like, there's nothing wrong. Okay, humor me anyway. You know, I'm having a problem with this. We need to get some help. Even if you don't see it that way, it doesn't matter if you see it or you don't see it. The point is, I'm telling you that this is what's going on. So therefore, you have to acknowledge that. You have to acknowledge your better half.
Let me ask you a question. What happens? What if you can talk to somebody better on a higher level than you could talk to the person you got to the level with? What if you can, because see, think about something. Iron sharpens iron. Because sometimes a conversation, depending on what level, elevates. Could it be that your elevation has elevated you to a person or a place? Because am I a bad person if I am with my spouse and realize that my spouse cannot keep up with the level that God has me on? Am I wrong? Am I wrong? Because see, here's the point about success that nobody wants to talk about. When you're successful doing something that you love to do as a call in your life, you don't have time to deal with petty or little stuff that you had time to deal with when you wasn't making. See, when I got on the radio, there were certain fights that I was fighting with people that I can no longer fight because I don't have the time. You know, the things that God has called me to do and engulfed me in my calling, I don't have the time to fight the same old fights anymore. People look at me like, well, he don't care. No, it's not that I don't care. It's just that I have moved on because my level has moved on. So there are certain issues that I might not be able to deal with because, okay, I have to speak in Memphis or I have to go here and speak here. So I don't have to come home. So I'm tired because I have been on the road uplifting people and I can't come home and fight with you about your insecurities. Because the Bible said you would rather live on the edge of a rooftop than a house full of strife. But what happens when that happens? When is it going to come to a point where the person going to say, you know what, I just can't do this no more because you're hindering my call in life? Is that a good enough reason to leave somebody because they hinder your call in life? Whoa, we get deep. Look at him, boy. Earl, I ain't playing with him. I've been off a week. I ain't playing. I ain't playing. Let's talk.
It's up to the...
Because people lying to themselves. Let's talk.
708-223-8953. 708-223-8953. I really think you have people scared because nobody is calling, but I'm sure
no,
they have a
I
lot
got
to
people
say
thinking.
And they're thinking, can I finish my sentence, sir?
Come
Thank
on.
you. I think a person intimidated by the other person elevating. I think when you get to that point, like you said, if you're talking to other people and they elevate you more than your significant other, it's going to be a problem.
Somebody said, no, you're not wrong.
No, it's going to be a problem. And it doesn't mean that you have to cheat on that person or you have to move on from that person. I don't know. That's a hard one because for my mind, I'm thinking about the person who has been with this person the whole time, going on this long journey on this road with this person, and then all of a sudden, person no more. Like they don't want to deal with the other person no more because they feel like they've done too much and they've exceeded the other person. They've outgrown them, but the person's been there all the time and they supported them the whole time. You know.
Well, what if their calling's whooping them? What if they're calling? Listen, what if let's say, for instance, my mate has a problem with you because you're a very beautiful lady. Okay, when I'm on a higher level, there's 1,000 of you. I'm again, I got people want to hug me, or how many times? I mean, you think about it. I got 5,000 friends on Facebook, and I only got 27 men friends. That means that majority of my Facebook friends are women. And I'm always saying, I love you. you know, or my love, or how you doing, love, or I love you with the love of God.
Mhm.
You know, but if that person has a problem with you, what is the person gonna think when I'm global or I got a woman's conference? You know, think about that. Teddy Pendergrass was one of the first artists that ever did an all women's concert. He had nothing but ladies. Am I lying, Earl? He had nothing but ladies at his concert. You Teddy Pendergrass' wife, you tripping. They say Teddy Pendergrass, so many people's underwear, women underwear was on the stage that they had to get two people with two brooms to sweep them off. Think about that. Now, could you imagine I am giving a woman's conference and you Teddy Pendergrass' wife, you coming home? She gonna be like, are you out your mind? You got all the women? Or she gonna be like, I understand because that's your calling. Because think about something. How can you be secure with one person with 1,000 people? That's why you have to be involved in it and with it so you're right there. When you get to a certain level, and I'm just sorry if you disagree, you agree, 708-223-8953, 708-223-8953. When you get to a level, they say, I trust faith and communication.
It's trust and faith. It's trust, faith, and
You're right, Sharon.
Yes.
My girl, Sharon. You're right. But see,
That's why I said it's like when you were saying, I was saying it's like when you said she has to know your heart as her.
is this my water?
No, yeah, that's your water.
Okay,
I got that
thank
for you. She has to know your heart, and I said they have to know. You have to know the level of the relationship. Where is the relationship as it stands? So,
but it's got to do with more than knowing my heart and relationship. You have to be honest about the call.
Right, but
there's a demand for the call.
You have to be honest about that. You have to be honest about yourself, how much you can take, and you have to have that connection with your spouse or your significant other. If you don't have that connection, is doomed in the beginning anyway.
Right. You know what did Robert say? His wife wasn't mad about the show. She was upset about the woman he slept with after the show. You're right. But see, here's the thing about that, Robert, is that we're not honest with people and what they are inside. See, we have created a certain notion of somebody, of what they're supposed to be, and not accepting who they really are. That's the problem right there. Let's get it out on the table right now. Everybody loves a perception of a person to study who God made them. And I want the perception. I married the perception. I thought of the perception. That's what I want, is the perception. I don't want the person. And see, the reason why I fell in love with Antoinette was she was the first person to ever love Corey Wright for Corey Wright, not a perception. Because two people only know you two kinds of ways: what they want from you or what they didn't get from you. And that's how they make their complete judgment of who you are. That's how people judge. Why is he a good man? Girl, he provided for me. He got me a car. He got me a house. He got a good job. And he just all that. He a good man. And he a stallion in bed. Yeah, girl, I married him. But then didn't know that he was a cheat, that he had a drug habit, or he was a womanizer, or he beat women. See, because you know why? You're looking at either what you didn't get from him or what he gave you, into the perception and study, saying, praying on him and saying, God, show me the heart of this person. And that's what people don't do. And because if you show you the heart of a person, God will show you the call. Everybody that don't like me or my ex know that I'm a man of God. Know that I'm a good man, and know that I'm called by God. They might not like me, they want to talk to me, or they want to be in a room with me, but they know that God. And I'm going to tell you something, especially the prophets and the preachers and the people I run into, they have already identified what I am before God, because the validation comes from God, not man. But if you don't accept that person's call, you're lost. And you're going to lose them, because what's going to happen is it's going to smack you in the face later. Go ahead, April.
I'm good.
I'm ready.
I love that.
It's the truth.
That.
That's
that was absolutely perfect.
That's what we base our whole judgment on a person.
Yeah.
What do I want from this person, and what did not get from this person? Do you know how many people? I had a friend of mine was on Jenny Jones show. Y'all remember Jenny Jones show? People, he was on there. Black man married a white woman. That's what the show was. And it was 3 sisters on there talking about some, he ain't no good. The first time he own a business, and the first time he get a little money, he'll get a white woman. And here goes the thing. When he got out of jail from selling dope, 10 years, a sister didn't want to give him a chance. He came out with that penitentiary still and didn't want to give him a chance. But the white lady did. Gave him a chance. Helped him get on his business, helped him get a business. Now he has a successful hardware store, make $475,000. We got you on with April and Corey. Who's this?
How we doing? It's Robert, brother. How we doing?
Hey, Robert, how you feel, brother?
Feeling good, brother. Nice talking to you and the Queen. How y'all doing today?
Pretty good.
We're glad you called.
You know, I agree with some of the stuff you said, but here's the problem. Teddy Pendergrass, bad example. Didn't he become paralyzed getting in an intimate act while he was driving with a woman that was not his wife?
Yes.
And
the woman happened to be a man. It was a transvestite.
Right. Yeah, on top of that, On top of that, it wasn't even a woman. Sometimes, as the individual, whether it's the man or the woman, if you are rising, it's your job to make sure you bring the other one up with you. It's not good if you're the only one that goes up and the other individual stays down. Insecurities can come in. We all know that individuals can take advantage of individuals just because of money. Look at all of the individuals, the celebrities right now being busted. All of them were individuals who had money and prominence and fame. They're taking advantage of individuals who had none. All of a sudden, how do I get into the game? Let me do what they're doing, or let me find a way to come around the back door.
Let me ask you a question. Robert. What if the person, what if that person was honest about that person's call and now they're in it and don't want to be in it?
Fairness, that's a very small window, though. I mean, let's be honest. How many people you know in our lifetime has went from nothing to something? Things we make movies out of. We're not making movies of everybody. We got the lady who made the Harry Potter series, Tyler Perry. These are rare examples. But the average individual is just the person who may have started off working as a security guard. Now they're the dispatch. They may have worked as a cashier, and all of a sudden they're a manager. All of a sudden, their little bit of fame makes them think they're more important than what they forget about the individual who's there with them in the beginning.
Exactly. That was my point.
Well, you know, Robert, a lot of people, let me tell you something. A lot of people love people, but really don't love what they do. And a lot of people are miserable and they don't talk about it today, because I know some people, some prominent people with some money who's only with that person because they love them. They hate what they do for a living.
And some people only love people for what they can do for them.
So my question to you, is it possible that you can love somebody and they're good to you and you love them, but not love what they do in life? Could you love a police officer?
I can't, but I can see somebody who could. It wouldn't work for me, but I don't represent everybody. I represent myself and maybe even a small majority of people who think like me. But the fact is, there are some people I know personally who I got a family member that's a police officer. His girlfriend loves him to death. I mean, she loves him, but she hates the fact that he's a police officer. Wow. She loves the fact that he has a good job, but she hates the fact that she may get that call that he ain't coming home.
Could you love and stay with somebody you hate what they do?
I couldn't.
Why not?
It's not in my makeup. It's just being honest. I can meet let me ask you something. You walking in a mall, you see this gorgeous young lady, or a young lady, you see a handsome young man. You all talk on the phone, y'all get to go with each other, y'all love it. Then 2 weeks or 2 months down the line, you find out they work at the strip club. That you pick this handsome individual, or have your opinions changed of them because of the career path they're on?
Wow, that's deep, man. That's good.
Changed, but I think you should have knew that before. I think that's something that should have been a whole discussion.
But I mean, you can hide that. I'm a truck driver by trade, but I'm a photographer as a hobby on the side. You look at my portfolio, you see a bunch of different individuals. First question is why she's dressed like that. That's her picture. I can't make these individuals change. You know, if that's the photo they want, I'm getting paid to do a job. If you can't handle that, I understand. Please don't, you know, let's end this now as friends. So I ain't gotta go back. I'm not gonna defend what I do because it is who I am. Detrimental. Let's say I'm taking pictures at a crack house or a strip club and everybody getting shot up. Yeah, I can see that. But me taking pictures of individuals at a wedding or at a bridal shower or a lingerie party, that's not getting me in trouble. Now, any person I'm with, listen, you're more than welcome to come. But if you didn't come, don't get mad at me for what I did. And it's the same thing. Now, here's the flip side of it. I couldn't date a photographer that was taking pictures of male strippers. I wouldn't be happy with it. Like, no, I can't do that to you. It's a hypocrite. It's a double standard. I know, but I know what I am. I'm like, wait a minute. How come dudes dress like that?
So
don't let them be more exotic looking. Oh, no, this ain't gonna work. You got to switch jobs. Walmart hiring.
So Robert,
But you want somebody to accept you for what you do, but you won't accept someone for the same exact
thank
thing.
you. That's the point, Robert. You're honest. So how important is honesty?
Oh, to me, it's the top. To me, communication, honesty, and appreciation is the most important thing in any relationship.
Wow, man. Hey, man, thank you for calling in, man. Thank you for, man, you're an amazing guy, man. We appreciate it, man. We love you at the Solutions, man.
All right, brother. You have a nice evening. Both take care.
You too, man. God bless.
Bye-bye.
My man Robin made some good points.
Yeah,
go ahead. You got some points?
Some good points. I like when he said it's important that you bring your significant other up with you.
That was a good point. That was an excellent point.
And what I like about what he said was the point about honesty. See, we're not honest about what we do in front. And for some reasons, because let's be real, we give everybody our audition tape. We're not going to let people see like Porter said, we're not going to let people see our insecurities because we don't want to scare people out. See, I want people to know I'm messed up because see, the more messed up you know I am, the greater you can see God on my life. Because see, I want to know that God can trust me with his glory. So I want to let you know that I'm messed up because see, I don't want nobody perfect and I don't want nobody coming at me like they are perfect. You know, I'm this, I'm that, because you know why? Okay, well, you're not for me because somebody messed up understands that I'm messed up as well so that we can work together to be better, that we're not perfect. But there is in language when it comes to a relationship and courting that we don't have, because again, we're not worried about somebody's calling, you know, because see, this is where a lot of relationships break up later because the person found a great love, they found a great person, a great provider, but they did not want their calling. See, understand something. I love the woman I with. I love her to death. You know, but if our relationship hindered my call of God, then I would have to leave. And that's the point that I'm honest about. Because our relationship has to be great in the call and the operating and in the anointing and kingdom work of God. If you're somebody that's not in the kingdom or kingdom working, I cannot remain with you. And I don't feel that it's cheating if somebody realized that the person they're with is not good, conducive, or growing with their call. That is not a bad leaving. See, leaving for cheating, leaving because you no longer want to be married, or leaving because you're just don't want to be there, that's different. But if my call of God is wrecking you and causing our house to go in disarray and causing me to be so upset where I can't provide for God's people the way God commissioned me to do, then leaving is the only option. And here's the thing, I don't have to leave. Wait, what you think?
I agree.
Now, this is the point I want to make, and I want to hear what April think about this point, because this is gonna be a good point. Is it possible? Is it really, 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 really possible that somebody was put in your life for just a season? Could it be that this person you with was put in your life just for a season, and that they were there to help you get to that next level, and you're not supposed to remain with them? Is that possible?
Everybody, excuse me, everyone
Don't
has
choke
their
on no candy, 'cause I ain't giving you no CPI.
everyone has their role and their place in time. So definitely some people are just there for a season, and they're just for a specific reason, and then it's time for them to move on.
Why do people always say, and answer me this, why do people always say, I understand what it is you do? Everybody think that what everybody does have the same general concepts. One thing that made me laugh, and I'm gonna tell you why it made me laugh. I was talking to the owner of this station. He said, "Do you know how many people say that I could do the same thing you do, but not doing it? How can somebody truly understand what you do and never done it?"
Mm-hmm.
When I got here, I thought I knew a lot about radio. I was here telling Earl what I know, what I could do. I could do this. And I got in here. He said, "Well, no, you need to do that. You need to do." Then I realized how much I didn't know. Why is it that we think that we can be our spouse's expert on what they do and don't know what in the heck they do? Come on, talk to me.
I have no idea. That is a bad quality, a know-it-all.
Huh?
You're a know-it-all. There is no way that you know every aspect of every career choice or every calling on somebody's life. I think that's not a good thing to even think that way, that you just know. And I say the same thing about because it's something that bothers me a lot with poetry sets, because artists are very serious about their gift, and a lot of people come to poetry sets, I want to hear poetry, but they're very disrespectful at the poetry set. And when I say disrespectful, they really don't respect the mic. They're talking, they're laughing, they're extremely loud while somebody's up trying to share their gift, and they don't understand how difficult that is for somebody to get up and share their gift, whatever their gift is, and they don't have anything to share, and they don't have that same mindset, that same thought process. So something as some might say, they might think is minute, as being an artist and getting on a platform and sharing your gift with somebody, and then you got a whole bunch of people talking. That's rude. Not only rude, but it's disrespectful, and people don't understand that. I can't come in here to the radio station talking about I'm gonna go over there and do Earl's job. I don't know what the heck is going on.
Mm-hmm.
I had a friend that is a truck driver. I don't know how to drive a truck, so I'm not going to jump up there and say, well, let me back the truck up for you. No, I'm not about to kill myself or kill somebody else. Like, I'm the type of person that I ask questions. If I don't know something, I say I don't know it. I don't feel like I'm going to tell somebody that I know what they do and I don't have no clue what they do. That's stupid.
Is it a requirement? Is it a requirement for you to know exactly, if your spouse and you marry somebody that owns a business, being that you are the spouse, is it a requirement that you know their business?
I think it would be good to know. I think if it's their spouse and it's a business, I think it's kind of detrimental for you to know, because if something happens to them, you have to be able to decide and dictate what happens to the business. If it's something that you want to take on, or if it's something you want to sell, or if he has a partner, do you want to sell your spouse's share? You want to see that comment?
So Porter said, what did he say?
People want control and to try to manipulate, and that's why they pretend like they know it all. Shaking my head.
And a lot of people do. A lot of people don't want to they don't want to be involved in somebody's life to the point that they want to be involved in their calling, but they want that person. I believe that you cannot separate a person's call from your relationship. And that if a person is involved in something, you have to be involved in it as well. Now, you can have separate careers. I honestly believe that. You can have separate goals, but eventually everybody goal has to be on one main plane, even keel, and one plane playing field level, so that you all come together at one point and work together. Because you cannot make it in a relationship with somebody that you are too busy into something that you want to do, and that person is too busy in something they want to do, because the call of God take precedence over anything you want to do. There was an old saying you want to make God laugh, tell him your plans.
Yes.
You want to
Amen.
make God bust up, tell him what you want to do. And so many people are trying to tell God what they want to do, called you to do. You know, there are a lot of things that I would love to do. You know, when I was young, I would love to dance. But I realized that dancing wasn't my thing, but I can make people laugh. I can tell people jokes. So, but somebody has to be able to accept my call. And that's why so many relationships are stagnated. That's why people aren't happy. Because you think that if I get with this person, marrying, I could change them. How many people makes the mistake of thinking they can change a person?
A lot. Men
Why?
and women, because they want to make things the way that they want them, especially when you're in a relationship and when you're in a relationship that's ended and the other person has changed and they've grown and they made certain decisions that they decided they weren't going to be a certain way anymore, and you're used to manipulating that person, and now you don't have that control over them anymore. Part of, like, the person in the comments said that it was a part of manipulation and control. It's the same thing.
Now, should your mate have to pay the price you pay for your fame? Think about that. You're sacrificing for business or building, and your mate is one of those people that like the finer things in life. You know, I'm used to wearing Timberland boots. I'm used to driving a Jaguar. I'm used to dressing and all that. Click that cancel. Yeah. Okay, I'm used to driving a Jaguar. I'm used to that, but now we want to get a business. So I need you now to study buying these expensive shoes, buy some $30 shoes, and study driving a Jaguar, drive a Malibu, and study eating out. Let's eat thing so that we can save up for a business so that we can be financially set. Is your dream, is it fair to make somebody else have to sacrifice as well?
I'm gonna say it's not a question of fairness. I don't think it's a question of fairness. I think it's a question of what you guys both want. You guys have to be both on the same thought process with that business, whatever that business is. You have to be in agreement with that business. Talking to one of my friends, and he was upset because his wife went off on this whole business venture and basically lost all their savings and everything. And he's like, I told you that you have to do certain things in order to start this business, and she did it without without them being in agreement. So you have to be in agreement about things.
Well, okay. Sometimes you have to support somebody, even because you don't know, something can work. You think about my relationship. We get serious, we get engaged, and I leave my $87,000 job to pursue my dreams. Now that makes you think, because a lot of people was like, you know what, you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't do that. But here's the thing. When she's seen what God has given me to do and the ability to, take a chance. Because Monday was the last day I had to come back. And a lot of people at my job was betting that I was coming back. But I've already been offered 4 jobs already. One I'm supposed to start on the 1st of the year. But the thing is that she said, go for it. Take your money down and follow your dreams. And see, in order to be with somebody, especially if they're an entrepreneur, especially if they're a business person, especially they're entertainer, you got to be able to accept their dreams and what comes along with that. You know, a lot of people don't want to do that. But a lot of people are honest, are not honest with themselves. What is the conversation, April, that you have to have with yourself when you realize that you are in love with somebody that you hate what they do? With yourself. I hope that ain't the conversation. If that's the conversation, you don't need to have that.
Man, you need to seriously, you need to really seriously look inside your inner self and make sure it's something that you can handle and that you can deal with. You need to think about the pros and the cons of the career choice or his calling or her calling. You have to think about all that. You have to think about the individual as a person, you know, and how you're going to handle certain situations when things go very well and when things go very bad. You have to take yourself through all those scenarios and just make sure that you're prepared to deal with different situations and scenarios. And if it's thoughts that come into your head, you have to be open enough with yourself and be open enough with your spouse or significant other about those thoughts or those things that are bothering you. You both have to be open to each other.
You know, the question, when I ask that question, the conversation you got to have with yourself, first thing you got to ask yourself, do I really want this? Mm-hmm. Not the person. Do I really want that lifestyle? Do I really want what they do? See, that has to be an honest question with yourself, because there is nothing wrong with losing something that you don't want to do. Losing somebody. Now, then you have to ask yourself, am I making this decision with this person out of desperation? Because it is sometimes when you have gotten so much dirty stuff, when you finally get something of quality, it might not even be your color. How many times, it's just like I have been able to afford Pro Wings, and I've been wearing Pro Wings, but somebody give me some aqua color or some glow-in-the-dark Michael Jordans. Okay, these glow-in-the-dark Michael Jordans is $200. Now, ain't no way in the world I'm going to wear a glow-in-the-dark gym shoe. But I put it on anyway because they're Michael Jordan shoes, and I'm tired of wearing Pro Wings. Put them on out there, and I get ridiculed. I get talked about from one end of the block to the next end of the block, and everybody like, look at him. Here come Light Bright. Here come Glow in the Dark. Here comes CSA. Here come, you ain't talking about me. Simon Says, you know, your shoes and Simon Says, they light up. You remember that little game, Simon, the light up? And I can't deal with all the ridicule. So what I do is I get mad and throw the shoes away. You know, or I take them off because I shouldn't have took them in the first place. Is anything wrong with that? Because you don't want to take these shoes. And see, that's what I would ask myself. Why am I making this decision? Why am I choosing this person? See, I don't care how beautiful a person is. If they can't give me peace, add to me, or make me better, I don't want to be with them. And see, a lot of times I don't want to do what they do. Like, I love Oprah. I'm crazy about Oprah, but I wouldn't marry Oprah. And I'm going to tell you why I wouldn't marry Oprah, because I would not want that stigma that comes with Oprah. Because everybody that I am connected with, I would be Oprah's man. And everybody know what Oprah touches, but at the same time, scrutiny in my life. Now, maybe now I could deal with that, but years ago, I probably couldn't. Because when you're on the other side, you know what grows is opportunities and choices. That's why people in Hollywood cannot stay married, because they've got this mindset. Listen, I got millions of fans out there and 100,000 women that want to be where you at. You want to act a fool, you can get out the door. Think about that. But a lot of times we don't understand. We don't understand that, because you know why? We're now somebody that's in the business can understand what this person got, and they got the same resources and the same choices, that they come together and find realness behind it. See, I am glad before God took me to another level that I'm with somebody. You know why? Because you know what? It's hard when everybody's trying to get the crumb off your table or beg or try to get over on you. See, when everybody's trying to get over you on the growth, but the person I'm with has to be conducive of God calling. Because if they don't want the call on my life, they don't want me. So, but people, that's just my point. Now, just now, I'm gonna get April her last. See what she want to say. Close it out. Tomorrow's show is gonna be a good show tomorrow as well, because we're talking about 2017. Did you accomplish your New Year's resolutions, or are you going to be a repeat of last year, this year? Get it in the first of the month. Make a lot of promises. Eat pig feet and black eyed peas and don't do nothing. That's the thing. So April. Give us your last comment.
Well, I'm just gonna stand on what I said before about having a connection and everything. I'm sorry that I'm really tired, but
it's okay.
It's important that you, a significant other, that you guys have an understanding of what you want out of your relationship, where you want to go, how you want to grow, and that you are able to talk to each other and explain to each other the things that are bothering you about the growth or the not growth. Where the relationship going, where do you want the relationship to go, what is your goals, what are you trying to accomplish with the relationship? Those are the important things. What are you laughing at me? So that's basically, I don't know, I'm out of it.
Okay, my last comments, let me tell you, people. First of all, you have to be honest about what you want to do in life when you choose your mate. First thing you have to look at before you're looking at the possibility of love and the possibility of the future, you got to look at their calling, because that is connected directly to both. And if you're not honest about their calling or want their call on life, or you're not able to add something to their call or make their call better, you will be replaced in their call. Because what will happen is their call will run over you. And so many people have been ran over, been beat up, and been thrown away by somebody's calling because they have not been honest about their calling. And they're just there because that person is a good person and they love that person and the person loves them, but they don't want what comes with their life. And so many people are not honest about what comes with people's lives, because you got to understand that what comes with people's lives is a chain. There's a chain. There's a link to somebody's life that they're carrying something with them. You all seen the movie Scrooge. And when the ghost came to talk to Scrooge and tell him about the three ghosts to come and see him, he had a chain that was around him that was locked to him what he sold in life. To understand, when we look at people, that they are growing into something, that God never gives you a full grown blessing. It is always something that's going to grow, and he always does that to see if you're going to nourish and grow with it. Because he cannot give you something that outgrows you, because anything that outgrows you will kill you or either leave you. Let me say that. Anything that outgrows you will either kill you or leave you if you don't get that. And so many relationships are ended not because people are cheating or they're bad people, because they outgrown that relationship, because that person was not growing with the person's calling. They were growing with love. I need you to grow with love with me and for me, but I need you to grow with me in my calling. If you don't grow with me in my calling, the love and and what you feel for me will be lost in that call, because I will leave you and anybody else for what God has called me to be. Because you know why? God has a heaven and hell to put me in, not you. And I was not born and put on this earth for a relationship. Marriage is an institution by God, which is the benefit of human life, but it's not why God created us or put us down here. He put us down here for a purpose. He put us down here for ordained calling. That is more important than anything. And in life, we're going to be in places that we're not happy. If you are not conducive, or you are not marrying somebody for everything, more importantly, their call in life, then when they reach the full potential or reach the full maturity of their call, it is going to roll over you like a car rolling over a roach. And it's going to smash you because you're not honest about it. Because it's all right to be lovely and happy when you're putting on the clothes to go jump, skydive. It's all right to laugh and joke when you're inside the plane. It's all right to even take off in the plane and look at all the pretty stuff in the sky when you're in the plane. But once the door opens, you got to jump. And the only way you know if you really want to jump is to know that you're a skydiver with the person that's skydiving. If you know you're not a skydiver, don't even go through it. Because I'm going to tell you something, you're going to lose it. And eventually, in your life and that person's life, or eventually that person's going to leave because you know why? The life that was is no longer, because you know why? They've elevated to a point of a level that you no longer want to go to. When you're choosing somebody, people, you got to be real. I hope this show bless somebody, because you got to be real about how you feel about somebody. So, people of God, thank you for tuning in today. I'm back. I feel like this 2 hours went back so fast. I'm back tomorrow. We're going to talk about New Year's resolutions. Thank you guys for tuning in. On behalf of myself and April the Agent, we love you guys. Remember, be your own rescue. If it was easy to be no April the Agent, it was easy to be Minister Corey Wright, but if it was easy to be no Earl Winfrey at Intellectual Radio, but more importantly, it was easy to be no you. See you at work. Peace.
People get ready, there's a train